It's like the more money we come across, the more problems we see.
We are out of school and in our careers now, so we can afford some luxuries, but there are some compromises that have to be made. We can't afford to have everything no matter how much we want it all. Listen to us lament about our lifestyle creep.
Hello, Cindy.
Hi, Chanel.
So recently, we went on vacation.
We
'cause
did.
We're superstars. And you actually had your first business class flight ever.
It sucked. It actually was so bad. So Chanel and I, we went to Montreal and New York together. And your mom came with us, and planning a trip with your mom because she works.
I warned all of you.
Well, you did. You did.
Of you.
Hey, here was the thing, right? You warned us, and I was perfectly okay with living my poor life. And it's not even like I'm poor, but comparatively to your mom, it's giving poverty. But your mom, rightfully so, has a higher standard for living, which means she's going to go towards business class, and you were traveling with her. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that you would also be traveling in business class. Like, there's no point in y'all separating. So yeah, I'm coming from Northern California. You're coming from Southern California. So y'all took business class to Montreal. Mm-hmm. And then we were going to fly from Montreal to New York. When it was coming time to book travel, you, your mom, and Maddie, who are technically a unit traveling together, we're all going to go through business class. And me, technically, we're together, but I'm my own unit. I was going to take economy. But your mom was like, that's just sad. Like, we can't be sitting in business class. And she walks past us as we're waving.
And we look like, going to the back.
To be honest, I didn't even really care because I'm like, the flight's short.
The flight was short.
The flight was like less than an hour.
Yeah.
So I was like, it is what it is. It's going to be 45 minutes. But your mom was like, no, that's not right. So she helped subsidize the flight. So pretty much I think I just paid what I would have paid in economy, and your mom covered the rest.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was my first business class experience, and it was, okay, it was terrible, but it wasn't terrible at the same time.
Yeah.
I am relatively tall. In like American standards for women, I'm taller than the average woman. So sitting in an airplane, typically whenever I've flown, I've only gone about 3 hours, at least recently. And so flying from California to Montreal was the first time I'd been on a plane for, I think like 6 hours. And I was dealing with the worst cramps ever in my legs because there's no space. It's like, you're packed like sardines on an airplane, on an aircraft. And in economy, sardines. And then when you go up, they give you more room. So one of the things that I appreciated about, I think it was premium economy, or was it business on Air Canada?
From Canada to New York?
Yeah. Okay. Being in business, I think they give you like 6 more inches of leg room. So I could stretch my legs comfortably and I still had space.
Yep.
That was great. But I think they were trying to do the full business service on a 45-minute flight. So I was overwhelmed. They gave me a plate of food and a drink without fully helping me open.
Okay, let me explain this from my perspective. I know, but from my perspective, and this is why I'm cracking up right now. I'm sitting ahead of Cindy, and Cindy was like in like catty corner, so I turned like this and I can see Cindy.
Yeah, diagonalish.
Yes, and so I'm just minding my business. I'm like, oh, we got our food. The flight attendant comes up, he opens up my thing, sets down my food, gives me all the things, and then I'm looking back like, okay, Cindy, look, you got some food. Like, oh wow. And when I look, I just see a waterfall of water falling next to her on the seat.
It was apple juice.
That's even worse.
It was apple juice.
Literally so much. You spilled everything.
I took one sip and the rest of it went to the floor. Yeah, okay. So let me tell my perspective. Pretty much, the person who was helping was coming out and opening trays for people and dropping food. So I was trying to prepare by like opening my tray, right? And my tray I thought was fully open. It ended up being half open. So he gave me a tray that fully filled the half open, or he gave me a plate of food that fully filled the half open tray, and then my drink. But when your tray is open, you don't really have space to move.
Yeah.
You pretty much just have to sit there and eat. But with the tray and my drink, they all couldn't fit. And I couldn't eat and hold my drink. I just didn't have space to do everything. Mm-hmm. So I was looking around and I saw that your tray opened up again. So I was like looking. And I was like, my tray was only half opened. My tray wasn't fully open. So I was attempting to fully open my tray, but I needed two hands. One to hold the food, one to open the tray, which meant that my drink couldn't be held.
Yep.
It couldn't be held anywhere. And I was hoping and praying that it could balance on the corner of the tray stand, but it fell.
It fell. You spilled your entire drink, and I love that the flight attendant did not notice. Did not notice. Nobody, a little bit,
and not even the people behind me. Nobody said a singular word.
Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at you like.
And the crazy thing is, you turned around at the right time, like at the perfect time.
I saw the water falling. I saw and I was like, dang.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yes.
But yeah, nobody noticed. Nobody wanted to help you
I was
out.
so over, like, I think it's so bad because this business class experience was so anxiety inducing because I was being forced food that I didn't even necessarily want. I didn't want the nuts and cheese.
Yeah.
I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
Like, we ate a full meal right before that flight.
I got on the plane.
And they gave me nuts and cheese that I didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, I was just embarrassed after I spilled my drink. I couldn't even ask for another drink.
Your face.
I was over it.
Yeah.
I was over it.
You were done.
Yeah. So that was my first business class experience. The only positive thing that I can take from it is I had more space for my legs.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, so I flew business class from California to Montreal to New York, and then New York and back.
Yeah.
And she had such a bad time that I'm like, Cindy, it's normally not like this.
Right.
Like, we just came from a good business class experience, and we're like, dang, why did Cindy get the one time where it's just like whatever, because it's such a short flight?
That's my luck, though. That's just, if really you could explain me in an instance, it would be that flight.
Honestly,
that y'all had a good experience in business. The moment that I get on business, it's like, terrible.
It's done. It's terrible because even the seats were bad.
Yes.
They were good compared to economy.
Right.
Lord bless the people in the back, because I know those seats were probably janky. Mm-hmm. But in the front, it was like, what is this?
Yeah. The only thing I appreciated about was the leg room. And then flying back from New York back to the Bay Area, I was back in economy, and that's when I really realized that I need
like my legs,
that extra space. For me, that's it. That's all I really need. Because I didn't care for the food, I didn't find the service, at least on that. And I understand that I'm coming from a privileged space.
Oh, absolutely.
By talking about like,
I didn't like my seat on the flight that I could afford.
I just didn't like the fact that they gave me cheese and nuts. And like,
I wanted caviar. Ew.
Right. But for the instance of this flight, based off of that, I wouldn't pay extra for the service that's given in business class. What I would pay for is the extra leg room.
Yeah.
So if economy has extra leg room, I think I'd rather do the extra leg room over being wined and dined. But of course, anybody can say that for 45 minutes. For 6 hours.
And that's what I experienced.
Right.
6 hours business class is absolutely worth it, in my humble opinion. For me, any short flight, like anything under 3 hours, I'm like, what's the point?
Right.
If you're not going to be like actively hungry and like hanging out on the flight for like a good portion of your day, there's no reason to do business class or first class. Just do economy and get the extra leg room.
Yeah. So for like international travel, flying internationally, you're probably going to be, you're definitely going to be on the plane more than 3 hours.
Yeah.
And at that point, you need the leg room. It'd be nice to have extra service,
free champagne, free drinks, all that crap.
Yeah. So I actually would like to talk about that, because this experience of traveling with you, your mom, and Maddie, I think is the first time that I've had finances to be able to accommodate myself in that way. Like, if we're being honest, based on the amount of money that we actually spent on our vacation, I could have flown business class.
Yeah. Because we didn't spend not like our budget was here. We made it like halfway.
Exactly. And that other half, I mean, mind you, the extra, I think we saved $5,000
in total
to do for flights, hotels, and food for New York and Montreal. And I think after it was all said and done, I had a little over $1,000 left over.
Yep.
Like that extra $1,000 could have been put towards at least one of my flights one way coming back.
Mm-hmm. Because, on that flight home, I was like, let me send her some pictures so
that
she could see it. You're like, what the hell?
One of the photos that Chanel sent me was she stuck at her legs and it was just trying to show me how much room was left.
There is literally, and I'm a short person, so that's not anything. But I'm barely touching the bar for your feet in front of me.
I'm being attacked by a cat.
Period.
I'm trying to get the cords. He wants to lie down.
Oh my god!
But I want him to not lie down on the cord. Okay, we're safe.
But yeah, so I was like, "Look, Cindy, you would have had all the room in the world." And then we got a full meal, and it was like they gave you like a free little baggie, and like they actually fed you a good amount, gave you snacks and all that crap. To where we're on the flight for 6 hours, and it was
right.
And you have your own little pod type thing.
So that's something that I've noticed that is different because some business classes don't give you the pod. But some first class
depends on how long your flight is. If it's an hour-long flight, or like we had before, we got normal seats. But on my 6-hour flight home, I had a pod.
Well, so I think it depends on your airline because I've been looking to travel internationally.
Yep.
And let's just say I'm looking to go to London, and I'm looking at British Airways. British Airways premium economy, which is I think equivalent to, or no. Oh, I think this is my confusion. Some airlines have a first class. Some airlines have a business class. So with British Airlines, it's economy, premium economy, and business. And business is the one that has the pod. So I was wrong. I guess it just depends.
But you're right. It depends. But even then, like for all the flights we took, including the one that you didn't like, those were all Air Canada. So like it just depends.
Right.
Like they swap out planes and all that crap. But yeah, so for me, it's definitely worth it for long flights. I'd rather just save up money. Maybe that means I have to wait longer to go on vacations. So, but for anything that's like international or like longer flights, I want business class. Yeah. I'm going to save up for it or be like, Mommy, please pay for it.
But isn't that you're funny?
She won't.
You're funny. If she's coming, she will. But maybe
I had to pay a little something. I had to pay for our flight home. So I paid.
But to that, I think that's something that is so difficult though, because if I had never been on that business class flight, if I had never gotten that extra leg room, I don't think that would have been something that I would have considered.
You just would have been miserable,
right?
And been like, this is normal
because of finances, because of money. But I mean, we're in the stage of our lives where we are teetering between where we can definitely afford economy flights now.
Yeah. And
business class is where we're a little bit reaching, when before it was a reach to even consider going on a trip. And I feel like it's, what is it? Who sings Mo Money, Mo Problems?
Mo Money, Mo Problems.
I don't even want to get it wrong.
I think we'll both get it wrong at this point.
Okay, I'm not going to say it then. But whoever sings Mo Money, Mo Problems, it's true. Because yes, now I'm able to take care of myself in a much better manner than I did before I had my current income. But now I'm like, oh, but I want to go on more vacations. Like we're having a conversation, like going to Montreal in Canada is my first out of country vacation that I've had in 5 years. And previously I was only traveling to and from Arizona. So from Texas to Arizona and Arizona to Texas. And even now, if you think about it, the only place that I've flown to this year, I think was in the United States, was Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't really travel, right? But now that I know how capable I am to be able to set money aside and pay for travel, I want to go to more trips. But then there's a balance, because now we've had conversations where going to Montreal was fun. Going to New York was fun, but we didn't really do as much in New York as we wanted. Vegas is a yearly trip. Yeah. Right. And I want to go abroad. I want to go to London, but I can't do all of that. I don't have the vacation for all of that. And to be honest, I don't even really have the money for it.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that I can get the money for it.
Yep.
I have more time. Like, I've been thinking about getting like a little side hustle, like being able to substitute teach or picking up tutoring, because that extra money can be used to fund travel. And I just have the availability and freedom to do it. Mm-hmm. But it's all about balance. And I don't know how to balance this new extra income that I have.
Yeah. And I think it's not even just travel, because like travel, it's a luxury that, you know, we didn't really get. I know for me, like if I was going on a vacation, it's because my mom was like, we're going on a family vacation, let's go.
Yeah.
And those would only happen once in a while when she's like, okay, I've had enough, we're leaving.
Right.
You know? But there's also other aspects, like I've talked about this in the last season, where I pay for a direct primary care physician, and that's money out of my pocket. Yes. I pay for therapy out of pocket as well. Mm-hmm. And so like these are things that are like luxuries that I can afford, but it's also increasing the amount of money I need to live. Mm-hmm. That lifestyle creep is creeping up on me.
Oh, it's creeping up a lot. Like, I don't want to get too much into like what my housing situation is like, but you know where I live. You know how I live. You see.
I see. You see this couch?
We don't got to talk about it. But I'll just say that this couch isn't a two-seater couch.
Yeah, there's another seat. Off camera.
And it's already pretty, because we're two grown adults.
Yeah.
On a two-seater couch.
Yeah.
And we're nowhere near each other. We got space.
And there's a whole nother supposed to be in
But
the
yeah, when I got my job, right, and I moved out here, let's just say already the amount of money that I have to be able to comfortably move from Texas to California and have a home to live in is saying a lot.
Yeah.
But with the amount of money that I was able to get for like my signing bonus and help for relocation, I was able to get a really nice place in a nice neighborhood, and I'm able to decorate it in the ways that I wanted to, which is not what I would have done. Like, I would have never considered really interior design for my other place. The only reason why I was able to do it is because I got those stimulus checks. I moved during COVID. So I got that extra money to be able to like do things. And I think I did what you could consider like the bare minimum of like interior design. Mm-hmm. But like with here, I've been lazy, but like I have so many more expectations of things that I want to do here.
Yep.
Just because I have access to the income to do so.
Yeah. And
it's crazy because Cindy of the past probably would have looked at that and been like, oh, why do you want a floating bookshelf? Why do you want terrariums? What is cottagecore? Why do you care for cottagecore so much? You know, like asking these questions, like, why would you do all of that when you could be using that money for other things?
Yep.
And it's just like, well, those other things are taken care of now, which means I can do more things. But the more things you do, I feel like with the lifestyle creep, it feels as though you have less money because you're allocating your money into more avenues and more places.
Yep.
I don't know, like, if you have that same experience, but
yes. And I've had to watch it because I think the issues for me are that like the past is not the same as now. You know, how our parents were at our age versus us is like two different worlds.
Oh, of course, yes.
And I think one part of that is the fact that we have money, but our money doesn't go as far as their money did in the past.
Yes.
To where like at my age, my parents already owned a home. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like a full, like a house with multiple bedrooms.
In California.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't know if your parents owned a house when you were a child or...
I think they own it now. My parents moved to my childhood home, and I think 1999. Mm-hmm. And I believe they were paying like mortgage payments.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you have a mortgage, you own your house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then they owned a home, 1999.
Mm-hmm.
But like they were considering trying to sell their home, and it was gonna go for over $1 million. Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact that's not like. Love my parents, but two immigrants. My dad had been here for a little bit, But my mom had just moved to the United States a year prior.
Yeah.
And she had enough, and they had enough to get a house.
Yeah.
That goes for $1 million.
Yeah.
And today, yeah. It's not the same. I don't have anywhere near the amount of money to be able to go and purchase a home that's $1 million and keep up with the monthly payments.
And that's because of the game's different now. Not only are houses just more expensive to buy, the interest rates are way higher now, to where it's like, is it even worth it to buy a house at this point?
Yeah.
So it's that being an issue. And then it's also another thing, subscriptions. Like subscriptions are so common. It's the fact, like, we use Adobe software to do all this podcast stuff. Why is that a subscription?
Right.
I remember back in the day where you would buy the box and then you would have the software and you would just pay. It was expensive, like $300, but you pay it once and you keep that software forever.
Microsoft Office,
everything.
Yeah, the Microsoft one really gets me because that's what you use in school. Yeah. Right? You use Microsoft Office, but as soon as you get out of school, like, I have the Microsoft Windows whatever on my work computer, but that's now my work computer. I don't have the subscription anywhere else. So I personally don't use Microsoft anymore because
I don't either.
The subscription is just so expensive.
It's not worth. And again, it's the idea of, you will rent everything and like it, or whatever that quote is. Like, you will own nothing and be happy or something, whatever the quote is. And it's just so frustrating me to the point where I've started getting rid of subscriptions and I've just been finding alternatives.
You are adverse to subscriptions.
I really am. I think the only subscriptions to me that make sense is probably like Apple Music. I think that's the only one I can get on, because it's like, if I had to buy all my music, that might get really expensive, because I have thousands and thousands and thousands of songs that I just randomly want to listen to.
Right.
And then something new comes out every month. I want to listen to stuff. Okay, I can kind of understand the thing for that. But something like this that y'all used to offer for free, like iTunes was never free. You had to pay per song.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you guys are creating problems and then solving it with subscriptions.
Right.
So that's something that adds to the lifestyle creep, because everything's a subscription.
And that's on purpose.
It's monthly.
It's on purpose. Even like when you're mentioning like the subscriptions you're okay for, like Apple Music, one of the things that I think of is like that's related to entertainment.
Yeah.
And like, let's just go first with TV shows, right? We're currently really obsessed with From.
Yep.
From, which is a TV show that's on MGM Plus. And we watched the first 2 seasons on Amazon Prime, which is a subscription that you already have.
Yep.
Right? Because at the time, MGM Plus and or MGM and Amazon Prime had some sort of agreement. And I think there's still a possibility, but I think you're able to still watch season 1 and season 2 of From through Amazon Prime.
I think they got rid of it to where you have to watch it through MGM.
Oh, really?
We watched it like right at the tail end before they changed it.
Oh, so yeah.
I believe.
So now though, they put it to MGM Plus.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with, like, we went and saw The Substance recently. And that was a movie that I was going to wait for it to come out on streaming platforms, because typically for a lot of movies in the past, they would go on to HBO or they'd go on to Amazon Prime. But then I was looking and I was telling you, oh, Chanel, like, we don't have to go to the theater because The Substance is here on Amazon Prime. And then boom, they said, oh yeah, Amazon Prime is partnering with Mubi. So you get a Mubi subscription to be able to watch these movies. And it's on purpose.
It's on purpose.
It's truthfully on purpose. And I think that is also the reason why I think the concept of like what is considered wealthy, what is considered poor, what is considered middle class is changing so drastically.
Yeah.
Because prior to this, we had cable. You would pay a monthly thing for cable, but you would have access to all these shows. Then we made cable obsolete. And then now every single streaming platform is a subscription.
It's turning into cable.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much cable's going to come back, because at this point
Disney Plus acquired Hulu and
ABC, National Geographic.
Yes, and so that's basically a cable subscription. Amazon Prime does the same thing, where you can partner. You can get like Showtime on Amazon Prime. And so it's like, why did we get rid of cable just to reinstate cable, but make it more expensive and also worse? Because now they kind of just get rid of things. Like your favorite shows, or like, for example, I love Supernatural. Apparently they changed the background music. They changed the music in the show because I think it was something about licensing agreements or whatnot. That's not something that would typically happen if I was just watching it on cable from the production company or the channel that was producing that show. That's what I mean? Weird. So it's kind of like, you guys are reinventing the wheel, making it more expensive and worse.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, and there's no way to fix it.
I mean, there's always a way to fix something, but we can't control it.
Well, no, I mean, in the sense that the only way to fix it is that these corporations need to be okay with losing money. And nobody's okay with losing money.
Nope.
And I think the issue is they feed off of the convenience. Because another subscription that I recently did was I got the AMC stubs where I pay $25 a month to be able to watch movies.
Yep.
And I mean, for right now, I'm taking advantage of it where I think since I've gotten it, I've seen 5 movies. And it's like you get 3 movies. You can see 3 movies for free a week. And then the more money you spend on like popcorn and snacks, you get points, which for every $1, I get 100 points. And then at 5,000 points, I get $5. So it's like if a popcorn's $10, like boom, right? Anyway, I recently got that subscription because I thought it'd be more convenient for me to pay $25 a month since I had so many movies that I wanted to watch. But that was at that time.
Yeah.
At that period, I had like 2 to 3 movies that I wanted to watch in the theater. The Substance is what pushed me over the edge because I was going to wait for it to come on streaming platforms because during the COVID era, watching movies at home used to be so cheap.
Yeah.
And now it's not the same anymore. But since I had the subscription, I'm like, there's no point in me canceling it. There are still movies that I'd like to see. But now I feel like I'm being sucked in. And that's $25 less that I have every single month. Which will kind of hinder, I want to go to New York.
Yeah.
I want to watch this Broadway show. But I also want to go to London. And then when I get to Europe, I want to travel.
I want to get takeout. And then I want to do this. And then, I want to get this subscription service. And da-da-da. Yeah, it just adds up. And I will say I went the other route than you. Because we both had to watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, you did.
And so I remember that there was a local theater that's actually cheap, and so I've been going there, and tickets, I love a cheap movie theater. There's nothing that brings me more joy.
Yeah.
So it costs like $14.50 to watch a movie any day, and then on Tuesdays the entire day it's $7.50 to watch a movie. That's crazy. Nice. And so it's giving me the same perks that you have, but I don't have to sign up for a subscription. So I just got lucky.
Right.
I got lucky.
But a lot of those things are hard to find. And I mean, even having conversations with you, it seems like Southern California has a lot of things more accessible than Northern California. I've learned like in my specific pocket of area near like San Francisco, there's a lot more mom and pop type stuff with a mixture of like specific chains. So it's like I have to get lucky that the right either mom and pop shop or the right chain is in my area. If not, I need to drive 15, 20, 30 minutes to be able to get to certain things.
Yeah.
And that just makes, once I have to start putting in that effort, I'm like, well, why am I going to drive 20 minutes for a $7.50 movie when I have like an AMC in my back door, in my backyard, right?
Yep.
That I can walk to.
Yeah, it's right there.
Right?
Yeah.
It makes things difficult from the lifestyle perspective because I am very happy. I am very grateful that I am in the stage where I'm able to take care of myself and I have money to do these things. But I want to live a fun and comfortable life. And with a fun and comfortable life comes spending more money. But then if I'm spending more money, I'm like, okay, well, I'm able to see movies. I'm able to eat at these restaurants, but I can't travel. Okay, well, I'm able to travel. I'm able to eat at these restaurants, but I can't watch movies, right? To be a well-rounded individual, you need to have your health, need to be mindful of your health, your wellness, your health and wellness, your finances, and your hobbies. And to do those things, it's kind of like that pie chart that you had in school where it's either you got good grades, it's a good grades, social life, or what is it? Good grades, social life, And what's the third one?
Was it health?
Oh, sleep.
Sleep. Okay.
Right. And you could only pick 2 out of the 3. You could either have good grades and a social life, but not sleep. You could have sleep and a social life and not have good grades and whatever. Yep. That's how I feel like life is just in general. I can have hobbies and money. But then I won't, what's the third?
No travel.
I won't be able to travel. Yeah. Thank you. Or I can travel and have hobbies, but then I won't have any money. Yep. And that's currently where I'm at, where I'm traveling. It's true.
Oh God.
I'm picking the vacation. I'm going to try to book this plane ticket to for my trip to London before the year is over. That's travel. I'm going to the movie still, and I have all my subscriptions. So my money's gonna go bye bye.
Bye bye. See you next time.
Maybe not, because I'll probably spend you before you come back.
Yep. And yeah, that's pretty frustrating. And then also, like, I feel like part of the American dream is like whatever your parents did, you're gonna do better than them.
Yeah, that's what parents always say. I'm trying to set you up to live a better life than what I had.
Yeah, and it's like our parents are pretty successful.
Our parents are very successful, but then at the same time, I think it's hard to prepare people for something that you don't know is going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Because they could set us up to do better than them, but maybe do better than them in their environment.
Yep.
Right? I still would say that we are doing better off than our parents in some aspects, in some sense. If you want to look at it from their homeowners, we fail in that aspect. But from the perspective of education, I'm the most educated.
Same.
In like my immediate family, right?
Same.
In the opinion of like living in California, like nobody in my family has ever been able to like move so many places and have different homes for themselves and do fine and assimilate well. Like that's something that I have done, you know? So in those aspects, yes, but in other aspects, like by the time my parents were my age, I'm pretty sure they were married by this point.
Woo.
And then if I think about it, if I was my mom, I would be having my first child in the next 2 years. And I'd be picking up and moving to a new country.
You see?
You know?
Yeah, my mom already had me and my sister.
See?
I was 2 years old.
Whoa. At this time?
Yeah.
2?
I was 2, yeah.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
That math is not mathing.
What do you mean?
It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to do math and it's not mathing. But
that's because my mom, she's basically double my age.
Okay. My mom is also double my age.
Yeah. What?
Right?
Oh, wait. No, I think our moms are the same age.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I think your dad was the older one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know our moms are the same age.
I think they're about the same age.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's why the math wasn't mathing.
I was like, huh?
Carry the 2, divide by 4, plus 7. We're only 6 months apart.
I'm 12.
So like, because you said your mom that you'd be 2 right now, but I'm like, we're 6 months apart. If my mom was my age, I wouldn't have existed. But you're 2. We're spending way too much time. Yeah, I'll probably do the math later.
Do the math. That's because
I
was born in 1996, and so my mom was born 1969.
Okay, then my mom's older than your mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then that's the math.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, we're good. Because I was like, do I not know?
Yeah,
but I do know.
Yeah.
But now
my
we know.
mom was born in 1966, so she's exactly 30
That's
years.
the couple years. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Same. We're the same age. Yes.
We're.
Chef's kiss.
That makes a lot more.
Yes, because I'm pretty sure my mom had me at 26.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I say oh wow because I'm just thinking about me at 26 with 2 kids.
2 kids, and then my sister's 6 years older than me.
Wow.
So yeah, she was like 26, 27.
Wow. I feel like that's something that I can't even fathom because that's what a lot of people were doing. They were having kids much younger.
Have kids, they get married. Yeah.
I mean, not even back then. I even still think in our generation, because I have friends who have.
Yes.
My best friend, her daughter just turned 4.
You see, there was people from my high school getting married straight out of high school, and I'm like, like, y'all are crazy.
Right? But I think it also shows that so many different things can happen in your 20s, and your journey through your 20s and into your 30s is so vastly different. I think when you're younger and you're going through your teen years, it's pretty consistent, where it's like you kind of go to school, you start rebelling around 13 and 14, you start finding your own interests, your own thoughts when you're in high school. And then after high school, that's when things start to deviate, where it's like you do get the people who get married early, or the people who decide they don't want to go to college and they want to work, or people who just like are taking gap years. And then you get the people who go to college and then life happens. And then after college, more marriages, then there's children. And you get the people who are crazy enough to go to more school. And then at that point, by the time they finish that third amount of school, they're nearing the end of their 20s, going to their 30s, looking at each other like, you know what we should do? We should make a podcast to talk about all this. Right? So I find just aging to be so interesting in the aspect of lifestyle creep, because in a sense, it's similar but different for a lot of people, where it's like we're dealing with the lifestyle creep and saying like, okay, well, it's between travel, it's between saving our money, versus somebody who
paying the
mortgage, sending your kids to school, or my son wants to start playing soccer, and that's something. And I think that's just really trippy to me. You can't really, and I think that kind of adds to your parents trying to prepare you for the future and living a better life. It's just like you don't know what type of path they're going to take.
Nope.
Because it's like, yeah, we could both be moms of 2 right now.
Yeesh.
And I'm like, would we have been prepared for that? Especially with the push to go and get higher education. I don't know. Because that's just never a life that I mean, it's a no thank you. I have a fur child, I guess you could say, and that's a lot.
Fur baby.
He's waiting to eat. It's coming close. I wonder if we'll catch, is he, oh, he's kind of on the screen. I wonder if it'll catch him.
He'll leap off.
Right.
In anticipation. But yeah. Good times. And then I feel like there's always something new to buy.
Of course.
Like I just got this watch.
A fitness watch.
Yes.
I just got myself a cast iron.
And you see now what's called Black Friday's coming up. And I'm like, I want everything.
Oh, that's so true. That's next week.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
I want everything. Because I showed you that tablet I want.
I should honestly look at it for a new laptop.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
I'm in desperate need, y'all. My laptop is 7 years old.
Whoo, and it acts like it's a dinosaur.
It's unfortunate because it's kind of hard because I thought after I graduated grad school, I wouldn't really need my computer anymore, because what's the reason? Like, my job gives me a computer to work with. But since we started this podcast and I need to be able to edit, one of the biggest issues that I've come across is that I don't have enough storage space.
Yeah.
For videos.
Yep.
Videos and audio files take up a lot of space. So that's another thing with like lifestyle creep, where it's just like by the time you get to the stage of your life as an adult, a lot of the things that you had throughout your like mid to late 20s or early 20s are getting older.
Yeah.
And they need to be replaced. But the technology, I think I got my computer for $1,200, maybe even less back in the day, because I had like a discount because I was interning at Intel at the time that I had it. So I had probably a discount. But now to get I think it's a MacBook Pro that I have, I think it's somewhere around $1,700. Like that jumped by $500 some dollars.
Inflation.
You know? Right? And it's the same thing with getting a new phone or getting like wireless headphones. Before, wired headphones used to be so cheap. You could get a wired headphone for $10. And now wired headphones are kind of going out of style, mainly because a lot of the technology that you use to plug wired headphones into don't, like, most laptops now don't really have like a jack for headphones.
Yeah.
It's the same way like CDs kind of went out of commission because you stopped finding ways to use them.
Yeah. So and I even have one for this, the typewriters. Yeah. They don't make typewriters, and like to get a typewriter, you have to find an old one and purchase it. I got mine for like $40.
Yes.
Right. And it's old. It's old school. And so it still uses electricity. So it's not that old school, but old school nonetheless. But I was looking up like alternatives that were new.
Yes.
Why is it $500? you want me to pay you $500 for you to have a product that's like more tech focused, but I'm typing on a screen.
Yeah.
The other one literally types on a piece of paper, and wow, I have my whole document written and it's in front of me, and I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
But you know, people want to go with the flow of technology and get the new iPhone every year and all the fun stuff. So I can't hang.
It's not even necessarily get the new iPhone every year. I feel like there was a whole thing a while ago where people were finding out that Apple kind of purposely makes certain models of their devices incapable of downloading new software or working with other apps as a way to force you to get new things.
Yeah.
It's just the way that society is set up sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, sure, people have said that with my computer, there's a possibility if I did a factory reset, I'd be able to use it. But then after 3 years, it might get to a point where I'm not able to use certain software on it because software advances with the times, with the technology that comes from different like manufacturers. And so soon, like maybe now if I factory reset, I could use Adobe Audition, but watch somewhere in like 2027, 2028, if I'm still able to use the computer, it's Adobe Audition is going to be like, oh,
you need to upgrade and they're going to say no.
Exactly. Right. I think that's also another issue where it's like, to some extent, some people do chase after the new thing. When they see something new, they get it. Yeah. But other people try to hold on to things in order to maintain, like, I don't want to have to buy a new phone every single year. I don't want to buy a laptop every year because my focus is on building my hobbies, eating new food, traveling to new countries. But certain expenses just pop up. Yep. Right. Like, and that's what we were talking about is like, oh, the focus before was I dropped my phone in Montreal. I need to focus on getting a new phone. And then boom, you come here and you're like, you really need a new computer. You need to save up for a new computer. And I'm like, but a new computer isn't a top priority of mine because I need a phone more than I need a computer. Because yes, while my computer is annoying, it still works.
Yeah.
But my phone, to some extent, doesn't work.
Yeah, that camera is jacked up.
And then it's like shattered the glass. Like I have a case on it, but the pieces of glass are falling off the back of my phone. Ugh. It's not safe. But I have like 8-9 months left on my.
So
I'm going until the wheels fall off. Until it gets to a point where the wheels. Well, I mean, so here's the thing, right? I could go and pay it off, and I can start to get a new phone. I can go and get a new phone, but I don't have the funds right now to be able to pay off this phone because if I do that, that will jeopardize the opportunity for me to go to London.
Yep.
Right. And I'm like, I can work with this phone because going to London and visiting a friend is more important to me because that's the life experiences that I feel like I deserve for all the stuff that I've done to get to this point. And so, yes, I'm picking and choosing. It may not be responsible, but that's kind of where I am in my life.
Yeah.
And why I feel like I give, even though I'm making more money, I still feel like I give middle class because I can't solve every single one of my problems with money.
Yep.
The way that I personally feel like people who are wealthy.
It would be so nice. Because, yes, normal people versus wealthy, two different things.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you had a trust fund and it literally pays you the salary you have now every single year and you don't have to do anything for it? You just get that money? And you know they're getting more than your salary.
Right. If that was the case, I would just be doing some things on the side for fun just to have some cash.
And even
just some extra, right?
Extra.
Because like the salary that I make, if I think about it responsibly, the salary that I make would be more than enough for me to maintain this home and for me to eat out. Like I wouldn't really need to cook.
Yep.
And that would help maintain that. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think if I did it to that extent, I'd have like maybe a little bit left to put over into savings and all the money would be allocated for it. But then any of the extra money that I make, like I could get a job that pays me much significantly less, but has me doing less work. Right. And then boom, that money could be used for trips where it's like, and if I have a trust fund, I could be like, hey, just to let you know, I'm working a 3-month like style internship. And then afterwards, I'm going to go travel for the rest of the year.
Yep. Live your best life. But so, yeah, we definitely don't got it like that.
No.
But we are doing better than a good portion.
Yes.
So I think it's given middle class as single people, which is pretty crazy.
But yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if that were my life, I wonder what financial problems that I would have, because it's like we were saying, more money comes with more problems. I wonder what would creep up that we don't realize.
You see, if you were like that since birth, because I could tell you a little bit. I don't have a trust fund. Let's get that straight. But when I was younger, my parents would literally just give me money. Like whatever I want to do, they would just give me enough money for it. Oh, you're going to the mall. Here's $50. Like go to the mall. And so I think you don't learn how to manage money, and you don't understand like what money is worth and like how it works. Yeah. Like you just don't get it because you haven't had to use it like that. And so you might be the type of person, if you grew up in that environment, where you just blow your entire trust fund and then you're like, oh, well, I went to Dubai for the first 2 weeks of the month. I have no more money. Dad, mom.
Right. That's fair.
And then if dad and mom get fed up and they cut you off, woo, that's going to be a lesson to learn.
Drama. That's true. I didn't think about it that way, but that's valid. So maybe if I were to find out that I had a trust fund now
you'd probably be good. I don't think you would lose your mind.
Please, someone.
Let's win the lottery. Hell yeah. Please. Today. Okay.
The lottery scares me.
What would you do if you won the lottery? What's your first purchase? Let's do that.
Okay, so question.
Yes.
Right? Because my first thought was I made sure all my credit cards are like the responsibility thing. Like we talked about it. I think you asked me this question in one of our past podcasts.
Really? Maybe.
I feel like, yeah.
Well, today.
Okay. It'd be so funny if it'd be interesting if I say the exact same thing.
Probably.
But my first thought process was, okay, well, if I won the lottery today, I would, am I being selfish or am I being like myself?
Be who you are.
Be who
you are.
Yeah, exactly. Sing it. Okay, so my first thought was I'd make sure all my credit cards are paid off.
Yes, all the housekeeping stuff.
Right. I would put enough money into my accounts that I would be able to not have to work, because I'm not quitting my job if I win a lottery, because my money can be finite, Is that the right?
Yeah. Okay. How much money are we talking about for the lottery? Let's say you win $150 million.
I can't even fathom what that.
Exactly.
I can't even fathom.
150 million.
I can't even fathom. Is that enough to live forever?
How old are you going to live? You have over $1 million per year.
So if I spend $1 million a year, that means I would have enough money to live 150 years.
Yeah.
Which means that's not, even if you divided that by 2, that's 75 years. And I'm currently close to 30. So yeah. So let's just say about 2 million a year. And how many zeros is that? I'm just making sure that what I'm saying, 2 million, is that $1 million is 6 zeros?
I think I think so.
Why does that sound wrong?
That's right.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I would say I would probably quit my engineering job, and I probably go more so to try to find something smaller, but only from the perspective of like I would get bored. But that probably wouldn't be my first thought. I would pay off my credit cards, put a decent chunk into savings. Well, since I know that it would be 75 years and the likelihood that I'm going to live to 105 is not probable. So I'd probably put like maybe 10 million into savings, right? I'd make sure I'd probably set some money aside, donate a little bit, so send some money to family. And then I don't know, probably start booking some plane tickets.
Yeah, plane tickets. So plane tickets is your thing.
I want to be a nomad. I feel like having that access to that money would allow me to be that nomad that I've wanted to be, where I'm able to fly to places and live in places for years at a time and then pick up and go somewhere else. That is a dream of mine. That's what I want to do. Yep. And if I was given access to $150 million, if I made sure everything that I had right now was in order, I would start booking those flights. And then I would start looking into, I don't have to worry about premium economy. I could be sitting in first class
every single flight, doesn't even matter,
and I'd be able to find homes easily and qualify for homes. Maybe I'd finally do that stint where I'm living 6 months to a year in New York. I don't even know, but I literally would probably pick up and leave. So let me rephrase. I'd probably quit my job and start going through the motions of the last couple of months of whatever lease that I had. I would live out however long I needed to, and then pick up and go.
Yep.
To wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever's first on the list at the time. Mm-hmm. What about you?
If I won the lottery, we'll skip all the obvious stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
So you just mean selfish. You told me to be who I was.
I'm like, be who you are. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you should have said just be selfish. What
just
would
be
you
who you are. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so do all the stuff you have to do. I talk to lawyers and retirement,
right?
And savings, whatever, all that nonsense. Period.
Yep.
But I have $150 million.
$150 million.
First things first, I'm having a dance party. I'm renting out the Staples Center.
Yeah.
I'm inviting my friends, there's like 3 of them.
So and we need the Staples Center then.
Exactly, just because I can. Just because I can.
Hey, wait, can you invite Beyonce?
I don't know if I could afford her, but if I can,
with the $150 million, you don't think
she's expensive?
Dang.
I think it'd be like please? A Dubai prince or something.
Beyonce, please.
But Beyonce, yeah, if I can afford Beyonce, she's gonna be there, and we're all gonna go for a whole day, and then after that, I don't think I could dance wonderful that party that's perfectly catered and delicious and amazing. You know what I want? I want a private chef. I want to live in a walkable city. I want a personal trainer. Other than that, I'm vibing. Honestly, I don't think I would spend more money after that. Like those would be my main things.
Want those, and I also want a personal stylist. I want someone to buy my clothes and dress me.
Personal stylist. I'm stealing that.
I just thought of something else.
What?
I change all of my jewelry to gold.
Oh my god.
I get a new computer.
You absolutely would get a new computer.
That'd probably
Jesus
be the first. No, I think I would call you and tell you about my plane tickets, and you'd be like, "Girl,"
I'd be like, "Send the money. Let me go ahead and buy you your
get that computer.
Get the computer."
But yeah, things like that. I probably also I want a curly cut so bad.
Oh my god,
I want a curly cut, and it's one of those things where
why are they like $600?
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Whew.
Probably get a really good hairstylist to help this hair grow.
You see.
And this is
we'd be spending some money.
And this is where the lifestyle creep would happen.
And that's where the creep happens.
I just said I'd only need $2 million a year, and watch them like, Chanel, I'd spend 6 months and I spend my $2 million.
Then we're gonna be like, oh, this new technology just came out. Let's buy it.
Yeah, that's a good.
I want a new iPad. I know I have 3. I want another one. I want the big one.
I would hope though that I feel like we've curated a good group of people around us that even if that were to happen, let's just say that you won $150 million and I didn't win $150 million. I'd probably look at you and be like, why do you need this stuff?
I'd be like, because I can.
And I'm like, you can, but even though you can doesn't mean you have to.
And then I go, guard, seize her.
And I'd be like, I can leave on my own, but girl, relax. And you know what I would do? I would take the iPad because you wouldn't notice it was missing.
I won't care.
Exactly.
And I'll have another one sent to your house.
I'll be like, okay, dang.
Thank you.
Right, yeah, whatever. But I feel like that would happen where it's like, if somebody saw us being really if we saw each other being really frivolous with the money, especially since we've done so much with finances, we'd probably be able to manage lifestyle creep a little bit more. Because even now, even when we talked about things, you and Maddie have brought up the fact that lifestyle creep is a thing, even with me moving here. It's already been brought up, it's already been discussed, because I'm like, I don't know what's happening, I don't know where it's going. It's like, all I need is an extra couple thousand, and you both are like, you would find a way to spend up the extra couple thousand and need more. It's human nature.
And that's the thing, it's all about how do you spend less instead of how do you make more money. Because no matter how much money you make, your spending could match it.
And spending less is so hard because there's so many things that you want. So many things that you want to do. And
I agree with your assessment that a lot of the things you want, you don't really need. Some of them, like dreams and stuff like that, try to get those. But
your point about a private chef, a personal trainer, those are things that are reasonable. I think a personal stylist could be one of the ones that goes a little bit overboard, but those are nice things to do. Or even going on more trips and being more comfortable. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily start doing first class right from the jump, but I probably I'd feel more inclined to do business class and making that a standard or a premium economy, interchangeably depending. That would be more of my standard now because of the fact that I had access to that money.
Absolutely.
So just slight things that things that I'm already considering doing now when I don't have those monies, now that I don't have that money, would become like actualities if I did.
Yeah. And, you know, there's this YouTuber that I watch, and I think his channel is called like, I Will Teach You to Be Rich or whatever. He has a book and everything. And one of his main philosophies that he sells is essentially like, you choose your rich life. And each person's rich life is unique to them.
Yeah.
And so I've took some time to like think about this and like, what's in my rich life? And so it's basically like your non-negotiables for your finances. So an example for me is when I go grocery shopping, I don't care what the price is. If I want something while I'm grocery shopping, I'm going to get it.
I see.
And that's just a philosophy that I live by with my finances, right? Another one would be flying business class for flights over 5 hours or whatever, 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And so that's like another philosophy in somebody's rich life, right? And so it's kind of like you have to think about what's worth it and what's not.
Yeah.
And so like for me, I'd never get my car washed. Ooh, he's getting his food.
Yeah, that scared me.
I never get my car washed because I don't care. So I'm going to save, especially because my parents, they normally go to the detailers. And they're like, why aren't you getting your car detailed? I don't want to spend $80 to get my car detailed. I don't care.
I don't need the detail.
So I'm not going to spend on that. But when I go to Whole Foods, I'm going to buy this really expensive milk.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like that's fair. I'm trying to think, what are my non-negotiables when it comes to stuff like that? Because like I will not wash my car per se, but it will get to a point where I'm like, okay, my windshield wipers aren't working. I need to do a rinse, and I'll do the $13 one where you kind of go in and come out. A detail would be nice, but I'm only going to do it if someone pays for it. But like, what are things that I do?
Yeah, the financial things that you're like, this is my rich life. This is how I enjoy life.
I think for me is like my subscriptions and stuff. Oh
yeah, all of them are just a specific one?
I mean, I am very lucky that I have a brother who is able to finagle. And I'm not going to say which subscriptions he's finagled because just in case. But I'm able to be on a lot of subscriptions thanks to him. But the ones that I don't compromise on are Crunchyroll, which is anime. That's one that I provide. And then personally for me, I grew up on Spotify, so I pay for my Spotify subscription because I love listening to music. I always have my headphones on, so that's something that I need to have. And then right now, for the time being, it's AMC Stubs.
Yeah.
Because I used to love watching movies. Like that used to be my thing. I would always go to movies, and it just got more difficult when the price of movie tickets went up, and I was adverse to the stubs because typically at the time that I would consider it, there weren't a lot of movies out. So I'm like, okay, well, if there's only one movie this month that I want to see and only one movie next month that I want to see, what's the point of me buying the stubs? Because then what if there comes a month that there's no movie that I want to see?
Yeah.
Then I'm just spending money and not using it. But now I think between now and the end of the year, I think there's maybe 4 or 5 movies that I want to see. It becomes useful.
Yeah. Reevaluating what's in your rich life.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I will say that there are some times, like when I go out to dinner on some occasions, that I like to do the appetizer, entree, dessert, nice drink.
Yep.
But that's typically when like I have people in town. I don't go.
Yeah, so it would be like when people are over, I go out to eat.
Yeah,
and I save up for it, and I do.
Yeah, maybe that's my thing. I like to do activities. I'm a people person. I like to be with people, so I'm willing to put in the extra money to have a good time with people. But when I'm hanging out by myself, I skimp corners because there's no point.
Yep, and that's part of your rich life.
I guess so, but I want part of my rich
all of the lights, all of the lights.
My rich life is to take flights. That's why I said lights.
Flights.
Yeah, we'll see when I get there and I have the ability and opportunity to do so, because that would be
super nice,
super ideal.
All right, Cindy. I think that's about it.
Woo!
It's giving middle class.
We are middle class.
That's okay.
And is it? Maybe. But yeah. Good chat. Good times. Bye.
Is someone knocking on my door? Hello?
Open the door. Open the door. I'm filming a podcast right now. Goodbye.
Bye.
You want to say hi to the podcast?
No, thank you.
Okay, bye.